Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Another look here at ICP, double checking a couple of key factors. The important thing we want to talk about here today is this nice little potential breakout here. We got this little resistance range about 1050 that just got tested and got swept, that upper level liquidation. We're going to see if the price action is more likely to increase or decrease. I do have my potential ABC pattern here on the charts, and I say potential because this highest point here may not be the highest point that ICP goes before it pulls back. We got to be mindful that Bitcoin right now was just kind of pushing a little bit, kind of keeping the price action in place here for ICP. But ICP is also performing a lot better than most altcoins are too. Right now at this exact time, last 24, 48 hours, it hasn't pulled back as hard as most other coins. So there's some really cool stuff going on. Let's double check some things here. I just want to say thank you again so much to my awesome community for just being an awesome part of my life. I've gotten some really good feedback here recently regarding our improvements on our Discord and our premium group. So congrats on that, and thank you so much. Absolutely appreciate it. So let's look at the liquidation levels here for ICP and double check here. $11 is a heavier concentration above the price action. We had this little liquidity sweep here. Good little 40 million liquidity at about 1055, 1060. The truth here, though, is there's a lot more liquidation on the downside than the upside if you look at the smaller last 7-day time frame. We do contrast that with the full-on monthly time frame. This is 4 times more data. We can see that there's a heavier concentration, roughly at about 9.1, and the same amount, roughly, at about 11 to 1075. Okay, so nothing much is different in the last 7 days. But if we do look at the bigger picture, $8 is a pretty heavy amount of concentration there for liquidation. If the price does lose its support around $10, we could very well see that be a potential reality for us. Okay, not proposing we're going to see $8 in the immediate future, but we have a strong amount of support in the 8 to 830 range. So if the price does pull back to that level, that'd be an awesome consideration for a long or a good place to consider adding to your spot bag. Okay. Again, I'm going to be providing spot trade signals here on my community here soon. Just waiting for the website to, our web developers rather, to kind of make sure that the Telegram and Discord all communicate together. It takes them a few weeks to get that going, but once we have that, this would essentially be one of those things I'm going to consider sending out an ICP's entry roughly in the 8 to 830 range. Again, that's just an area that I've talked about previously being an important level. Price took off without coming back to that range. CME gap for Bitcoin leads me to believe we might see something along those lines for ICP. Anyways, throwing some ideas out there. All right, so take a look at the SMA. We can see it working where it's way down here at about 860, 870 there for the current 50-day SMA. Being above that's super huge. That gives us a good consideration here for the price action. Again, maybe that 880 is a good consideration for entry. 0.382, strong fib level. Generally speaking, that could be the area of interest. What that looks like, though, is that's a bullish backtest of the descending trend. So a lot of times when you break the trend line, come back down to a bullish backtest, price takes off usually after it flags out. Okay, so we could very well see something like that. All right, enough theory. Let's talk about the realisticness here of what's going on. Let's start with a weekly and work our way down. Just to give you perspective here, we're over the 50-day SMA. A lot of coins are right there with that. That's a very good sign. We got stochastic swinging up and the RSI testing 50. While we're not above 50 yet, that kind of reaffirms that resistance at 1050 for ICP. We can see here that there's a solid consideration for breaking bullish here in the relative near future. Okay, so another couple weeks here, we close. If we stay in the $10 to $11 range, great chance we're going to see the price continue further up after breaking through that resistance. Daily time frame, we've kind of already summarized here, but generally speaking, we have a second stochastic swing to the upside and we're under 70 in the RSI, giving us more potential room for increase. Keep in mind, money flow index is super high, so it would make sense for profits to be secured here soon because that's just generally how it works. What goes up must come down, at least within reason. Okay, so even though we all want to have a parabolic increase, it's important to recognize that those only happen if they have solid consolidation areas or efforts and or retracement prior to. It's exactly why we want Bitcoin to pull back to the low 60K range or just say 65K at the very least, so we can get that consolidative effort before the price legs up again. Okay. So again, just some really interesting, important things to kind of recognize. But here with ICP, the simple way to understand it on the 4-hour is that we are breaking somewhat bearish. We got stochastic swinging down. While we're still over 50 on the RSI, money flow index is staying roughly the same, and MACD is trying to diverge here. So a lot of reasons why we're still not in great shape here on the 4-hour. But again, we're over all moving averages, so it really trumps everything there for as far as momentum is concerned. Until we lose those levels, we can presume the price will go higher. So generally speaking, ICP is looking, for the most part, pretty solid. It does look like it wants to break to the upside. And if you kind of compare this, like just say, take a look at some of these other charts, see they're kind of like dipping down as the price action for Bitcoin goes higher. ICP is going pretty much straight sideways. That's a really, really good sign. It implies that if Bitcoin can stabilize or increase, which it's kind of it's due to do either one of those two things, we can see ICP likely to leg up and break through this resistance. But again, it's probably best to presume the price will pull back just based on the overall sentiment here, with Bitcoin more likely to retrace. Again, I don't think Bitcoin is going to pull back massively, but it is definitely due for a correction. Let's look at the hourly time frame here. This pretty much just tells us here with ICP that there's no real consideration for a long, and it's not really ideal to get in at this point. Okay. Again, lagging spans all jumped up within the price action there. Conversion line and baseline bouncing above and below. While we are above the cloud, that's a nice positive. That certainly doesn't imply that the price is just going to break out. So me personally, when I see this and then I kind of compare that with the 4 hour and the hourly we've looked at so far, my summarization is that ICP is likely to continue higher if Bitcoin can hold the level. Bitcoin loses this level, we are probably going to see these lower fib levels retrace to. And just to clarify so you understand what that is, 950 is a good solid round number, would be the next area of pivot. That's this 0.236 fib level. And then alternative to that, if the price continues lower and we do see a lower high and lower low, we are looking at roughly 880 as a good solid consideration for a secondary target. Okay. So again, that's just generally what we're looking at here for ICP. All things are pretty considered positive, but generally speaking, we got to be realistic in the fact that we may be topped out here with this coin right now, at least temporarily topped out. It's funny, I said top out the other day, and somebody got really, really mad at that and put some nasty comments in the comments down below. It's just kind of hilarious to me that people get passionate about saying that a coin's going to go up or down in value. If you are, you're probably in the wrong industry. Anyways, just a funny little thing. Either way, thanks so much again for watching. Hope you learned something today. If you want to trade ICP on the world's best exchange, excellent rewards if you use my link to register. No KYC or VPN as well for BitUnix. We've used them for almost a year now, and they are phenomenal. Join us on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, YouTube, or TikTok now with some shorts. A lot of fun there. Be sure to check that out. Appreciate your feedback, though. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.